guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to, I'm just glancing at my iPad to double check. We are up to week number 227. Would you believe? So yes, we are doing reruns. So we're rerunning weeks 27 and 127. And what are we making today? We are making, double checking again, easy lace streamer embellishments for your junk journals. So easy lace streamer embellishments for your junk journals. Now, what you're going to need if you want to craft along, you are going to need some lace, obviously. Now, I've brought along one of my lace packs that I sell on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. I do have some lace packs on my website. I will make sure that they are kind of double stocked, or that they're stocked there before I put this video up for you guys tomorrow. You're going to need then some glue. Now I'm going to use hot glue. Oops. So this is my hot glue gun. It's just got some glue coming out from where it's, been warming up. You're going to need some glue. Now I'm using hot glue. You don't have to use hot glue. Use whatever glue that you like. The beauty of hot glue, obviously, it's pretty much instant. So as soon as you glue your laces together and all of that, it's going to be done. If you use a wet glue, be that something like Fabri-Tac, for example, or, any other wet glue of your choice, that's fine. And I'm sure it will work fine, but they may just take a little while to glue. So just be aware of that. Now, I've also brought along some ribbons. So I may or may not include some ribbons in some of my lace streamers. And then what you're going to want is, some scissors, obviously, to cut your lace down to size. And then what you may want to have is some topper type pieces. So I've got here a variety. I've got some buttons. These are some vintage buttons. And then I've got a whole bunch of different things. I've got gems, I've got flowers, I've got some of my ribbon embellishments and things like that. So you can use kind of a whole different variety of things to top your streamers. And once we've made a couple, you'll see, where we're going with this. That, I think, is all that you're going to need. So, be as adventurous as you like with your topper type pieces. And obviously, with your streamers as well. You could incorporate things like eyelash trim or anything like that. You could incorporate fabric. You could incorporate, what's it called? Sari silk or anything. Just kind of experiment and play around. I'm just going to be using lace because that's what they, had originally. So that's what I'm going to be using, except for these couple, which may include some ribbons. So I'm going to demonstrate making one or two. So I'm just going to pull my lace, pieces out. And I'm going to demonstrate one or two, and then we will go on and we will mass make a bunch of these. So, assembly line style making these. So I've got a whole bunch of different width laces here. So as I say, these are from my lace packs. So what you want to do is take your laces down. Now, again, depending on how long you want your streamers. I'm so sorry, that's obviously the front door. I assume it's the postman. Depending on how long you want your streamers will depend on how long you cut your lace pieces. So this one here, I've cut approximately 6 inches. I might not use 6-inch streamers for all of them, but I would say anywhere probably between maybe 4 inches and 6. So, kind of vary them between 4 and 6 really. And just kind of play around like that. So that's my lace. Now, obviously, as you can see, this is a very wide piece of, or not very wide, but it's a wider piece of lace. To make the streamers, I want them to be thin. So I'm going to cut this down. Now, I will probably cut this into thirds, to be honest, because that's going to then give me nice thin pieces for my streamers. To be honest, looking at this, I maybe could have gone even thinner and maybe even cut it into quarters, but I'm going to stick with into thirds. Okay. Now, at this point, it's up to you, really, whether you want to kind of mix and match your laces or whether you wanted to do them all, all in the one lace. So for this one, we'll just do it all in the one lace like that, just to kind of, start us off. So because this is quite thin lace, I can probably get away with just one dab of glue that will go through all the layers and hold them all together. Now, when I first did this video, in the first lot of mass makings, I did actually stitch these. However, lots of people made comments saying to me, you know, why are you stitching these? That's very fiddly. You could just glue them. So that's why I'm gluing them now, because actually in hindsight, gluing is, you know, by far the better kind of option. It's way quicker. Obviously, if you would prefer to stitch yours, that would be fine. If, for example, you wanted to make these in front of the TV, then stitching might be better because it's not going to be messy. You're not going to risk spilling glue or anything on your furniture. But if you're going to be sat at your craft desk, then glue probably is the quickest and easiest way to do these. So here, obviously, we just layered up the lace and you've just got it clumped together. And that's where you're going to just want some sort of topper type piece to just finish your lace piece off. So like I say, I've got a whole bunch of different things here. So I'm going to just use one of these flowers like that. Oops, and literally just glue that onto the top. Now, these are some flowers. I think these were from a company called Little Birdie, and I did use these last time that I made these. Now, I loved these flowers and I bought them. Actually, I don't think these were Little Birdie. These might be, I can't remember. I do apologise. I can't remember who these were. But I bought them because I thought they were so lovely. But they've got this quite bulbous, you know, centre. So I think for, you know, the purposes of these streamers, it's probably better to take the centre out and then replace it with something flatter. Obviously, if you're going to be using these on a cover, for example, then being bulbous doesn't matter. But so you've got kind of opportunity to use these inside your journal. If you've got something that's a bit bulbous, you know, maybe you've got some similar flowers to these. They make beautiful topper pieces for your streamers, but they may just have a slightly bulbous or slightly thick centre. If you just pick that off and replace it with something thinner, then, you know, it makes your streamer kind of more useful or usable in your journals rather than just on the cover of your journals. So that's the streamer done like that. So I'm going to just now make a second one, and this time we'll mix some different laces in just to kind of demonstrate again. Obviously, these are very, very, very simple. I never do anything complicated, and I say this all the time. But yeah, if I'm making it, it's going to be pretty easy to do. So I've got some crochet lace here, and again, I'm going to perhaps mix it in with the, you know, the other lace. And then perhaps we could have a piece like this as well. So again, just cut that down. So, you know, I mean, I've just very roughly cut those, but as you can see, they're more or less all the same length now. And they don't have to be all the same length. You may want to kind of mix and match your lengths, you know, play around and just experiment. So again, just going to cut my lace down here. Now, for me, I think I probably don't want this little curvy bit on here. So I'm going to just cut that curvy edge off like that. And that just makes it a bit more usable for the streamers. So I'll just put that to one side. So this one, I'll probably just cut this in half. Oops. Oh gosh, I've only just painted my nails, and can you see now I've totally dabbed my nail varnish. So I do apologise that my hands now look not very good. Yep, I've even dabbed it onto my other fingers. Oh, they're looking appalling, aren't they? But I know I've said this before. I'm sure no one's tuning in to see what nail varnish I'm using or anything else. So hopefully, you know, hopefully you don't mind. So we've got those two, and then here we'll just cut this again into thirds like that. Okay, and that one. I mean, obviously, if you've got any thin lace in the first place, then, you know, that would be fantastic. And I have got one very thin lace on this, or in this particular pack. Now, if you were to buy a pack of lace trims, just a quick note there, they are all, you know, potluck, and you may not get the laces that I've got here. You will get a variety of lace. You may get some coloured laces. You may get more neutrals. You know, it's all a total, you know, potluck selection. If they are very thin laces, you will get 9 trims or 9 lengths of lace. If they're thicker laces, you will get 8. So mine has got 9 because one of these is very, very, very thin. This one here. But if you didn't have a very thin one, you're going to get 8 lengths of lace, and you get approximately a yard of each lace in the pack. So you get 8 yards in per pack. So that's my little streamer there. And again, just going to pop a topper on here. So these are some of my little ribbon embellishments. You could have something like that on there. And again, I do have these on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. Yep. Okay. You could have something like that at the top. So you really can play around with these and, you know, change them around and make them look different to suit your projects. But aren't they just so gorgeous and really super quick and easy to make? So that being said, what I'm going to do, we're going to assembly line these. Now, I think probably the best way to do these is to actually cut all of my laces down, you know, into thinnish strips like this. And then I'm going to line them up across the desk and, you know, get my 3. Sorry, I don't know whether I mentioned that. I do tend to make these with just 3 streamers. Again, experiment. You may prefer them with more than that. If you're including something like ribbon, for example, you might have ribbon as like a 4th layer. It's up to you, you know, play around and see what you fancy. But yeah, so I'm going to start by cutting my lace down, getting a few, you know, nice strips ready, and then layer them up, then glue them, and then pick toppers for all of them. So we can just relax now, have a lovely catch up and a lovely time, hopefully being like super productive, getting a whole bunch of things mass made ready for using in our junk journals. So I hope everybody's week has started out well. I am filming this on the Monday, ready to go out for you guys on the Tuesday. It's the school holidays, so yep, I'm going to apologise now if I get interrupted or you hear my daughter. She's home, and I did say to her, look, Mummy's got lots of work to do. Just kind of treat it as if I was working in an office, and then you would not be able to kind of like just keep interrupting. You know, I would be out of bounds. So I said, you know, just kind of treat me as if I'm literally at work. So, but she has already warned me that she wants me to speak to her friend's mum about a sleepover. So I might well be interrupted at some point to speak to her friend's mum about a sleepover. Although at the moment she said, I've already tried to text my friend. She's not replied. She must still be asleep. So yeah, hopefully, you know, we've got a little bit of breathing space, because she said, oh, I'll wait about an hour. Now, my version of an hour and my daughter's are probably 2 different things, you know, when it comes to being patient and retexting her friend. She's probably not thinking, you know, an hour is quite the same as my version, but we shall see. So that's my neutral colours. And then I've got obviously some coloured laces here. So I want to include some coloured ones so that we don't have all the same looking streamers. So I'll just take some of this. Love this blue lace. It's so pretty. And I've used it so much, I have to say. So I'll just cut a couple of lengths of that. I mean, that was terrible. Did you see how off that was compared to everything else? They said, oh, I'm judged by eye and they're roughly the same length. Not that one. That was really, really long. Okay, so we'll just cut these down. And again, you know, I'm just cutting these down and then I'll cut them kind of in half or however to get some extra pieces. I will probably use the whole of this little skinny one, because how perfect is that to be using for these? It's like it was just made for these, isn't it? So, and like I say, I just apologise now. I can't guarantee that the lace packs would contain this particular skinny lace. You know, it may contain some, it may not. So yeah, I just do want to put that out there, because I'd hate people to be disappointed, kind of, you know, hoping for something specific and then maybe it doesn't contain that. So right, this has got a knot in it, which is really annoying, because oh gosh, can I actually see to untie it? Oh, I'm not sure I can. Oh yeah, yeah. This is obviously doing my nail varnish absolutely no favours either, so making my nail varnish look even worse. Just please don't look. Oh, don't look at all. Right, there we go. And that one. Yeah, so anyway, enough rambling about the my cutting skills, or lack of thereof. I will do a couple of black ones as well, because I do like the, you know, like the black dramatic kind of pieces. So yeah, I'll just cut that down there like that. Okay, so what have we been up to? Well, the weather has finally improved, which is fantastic. Although I say that, and now I'm looking out the window, not so great today. So yeah, it seems to have just taken a turn for the worse since I've said, oh, the weather's improved. Yeah, it's not improved today, but it had improved. So this lace, I'm just going to take that header part off and then also cut it into thirds. Now, I might keep this header part because actually that would also work a bit like a little skinny ribbon, wouldn't it? So, you know, we may or may not include that. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really look all that attractive now I've put it down on the desk, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, the weather seems to have done a turn for the worst again, but yeah, it has been really nice. And I mean, a couple of days have been really hot. I have to say Saturday, not so great. It was kind of humid, a bit muggy, but not great. In fact, at one point, I think it was pouring with rain. The days merge into one, don't they, during school holidays and things. Yeah, I think it was raining at one point. And then Sunday, yesterday, it was better than we expected, to be fair. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, but you know, it wasn't brilliant either. Yeah, so anyway, school holidays, so hopefully we're going to get some better weather, because obviously, you know, it's nice to have some better weather in the school holidays, isn't it? You know, although my daughter doesn't really like it very hot, to be honest, so she probably prefers it like this, if I'm truthful. But you know, I mean, to be honest, I don't even mind it being like this. It's just nice if it's dry. So yesterday it was my son's birthday. He was 18. So yep. Oh my goodness. Can't believe he's 18, like an adult now. And yeah, bless him. He yeah, he was very excited because, I mean, literally, I don't think you can really even go into pubs and things, you know, without ID and things. I mean, well, I mean, he could come into a pub like, you know, I don't know, like a regular pub, like, you know, say for a meal or something like that. But, you know, like in the evenings when kids go out. Now, I don't know whether the rules change like in the evenings, but I know that there's like 1 or 2 pubs you literally have to show ID to even get into the pub. I don't know whether if you weren't 18, whether they actually wouldn't let you into the pub. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that seems to be kind of the trend. And I assume that that's a sort of, you know, it's a protection, isn't it, for like criminal, you know, activity and things like that. I don't know if there was a, you know, a fight broke out or something, then I guess they'd maybe have someone's ID. I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, so, you know, bless him. He's so chuffed to be 18, because obviously, you know, it's pretty limiting on your social life, isn't it, if you can't actually physically even go into the pub, you know, without drinking. As I say, I don't know whether that's kind of just a thing that they do on certain nights of the week, or maybe above a certain time, or I don't know. Definitely, I mean, obviously if he came out, you know, with me like on a Sunday afternoon or something, we could go into a pub. I don't know whether those pubs that, you know, scan your ID, whether they're the pubs, you know, whether they do that all the time. I don't know. Anyway, he was very chuffed to finally be 18. So, yeah, that's really, really nice for him. So, anyway, on Saturday, he went to Brighton to, like, the Gay Pride, you know, event, I suppose you call it, the Gay Pride event. So he went with a friend of his, and yeah, they had a really good time. They had, you know, a lot of fun and things. So, you know, he yeah, he had a nice time. So obviously then yesterday, I had been asking him for weeks and weeks, saying, what would you like to do on your birthday? What would you like to do on your birthday? Now, I have to say, my son is just like me, and he doesn't really like committing himself to things. So he kept saying to me, oh, you know, I'd said that I was going to line these up, didn't I? So, yeah, I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to sort of restart and be lining them up, actually, because otherwise I'm not really assembly lining these at all, am I, if I'm just doing them in one go like this. Yeah, he's a bit like me. He doesn't really like kind of overly committing himself to things. And I kept saying to him, the thing is, you know, I get where you're coming from, because I'm sort of just the same. But if you don't commit yourself, your birthday's going to come and you're going to be doing nothing. So, you know, he wouldn't kind of commit himself. And, you know, so yesterday we didn't really have anything planned. So it was all a bit of a shame, really. But that being said, of course, he had drunk, you know, on Saturday night. You know, so he wasn't feeling 100% great, it's got to be said. So, you know, it was fine. I don't think he really minded not doing a lot because he wasn't feeling the best. I'm going to mix this, I think, with the black, because I think that would look quite nice. He wasn't feeling the best. So, yeah, it was kind of okay. Anyway, the weather yesterday was, it was better than expected. Just trying to remember. Yeah, better than expected. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. So we just spent the day at the beach. We went to the beach with Bo and, yeah, just had a nice day. We took her for a walk. And then, you know, because we weren't thinking the weather was going to be brilliant. So at first it was just going to be just a walk. And then, to be fair, when we got to the beach, it was actually much nicer than we expected. So we ended up then, you know, sitting down. Bo was playing in the sea for a long time. And, you know, she had a really, really nice time. So that was really good. Yeah. And we were down there for like ages and ages, which was really lovely. And then last night we went for a lovely meal. There's a restaurant which we really enjoy, and it's really good value. It's a Thai restaurant, and it's about, you know, 7 miles from our house. So I said, would you like to go there for your birthday? And he said, yeah. So that's what we did in the evening. And, yeah, we had lovely food. It's such good food in there, and it's really, like I say, really good value. So, you know, because some Thai restaurants, they tend to be sort of quite pricey, I find. And, I don't know whether it's because there's not that many Thai restaurants, so when there are, they can be quite expensive. Also, they tend to be more independent restaurants rather than like chain restaurants, certainly where we are. You know, which I think all kind of adds to their priciness. You know, so yeah, really, this is like one of those rare finds. And strangely enough, I mean, this just sounds a really mean thing to say, but it's not a very kind of like posh restaurant or anything like that. You go in and it's, you know, it's not glamorous. It's not like lovely looking or anything like that. And the first time I went there and, you know, with a friend. And when we got there, you know, he kind of said, well, I mean, this looks awful. And I said, I know it does. I said, but to be fair, give it a chance, because the reviews on TripAdvisor are brilliant. So while we were sat there, somebody's food arrived while we were kind of actually just sat, you know, at the table. And to be fair, as soon as their food arrived, we were like, oh, that looks really good. And at that point, we then were like, oh, well, you know, who cares what it looks like kind of thing. Let's give it a chance. And in fairness, when our food arrived, ooh, it was lovely, lovely, lovely food. So, you know, subsequently, I mean, I'd say it's probably like, you know, become one of our favourite restaurants. So, you know, my son really likes it. My daughter quite likes it. So, yeah, really, really, you know, nice food in there. So that was really, really nice in the evening. It was only very early that we went. So we were home by, I don't know, like 8 o'clock or something. You know, we're quite early eaters. So, yeah, we were home by 8. And, yeah, it was quite nice. But, I mean, I said to my son, I'm so sorry. I feel like you've, you know, not really had the best birthday. I'm going to cut a little bit of ribbon, I think, and include that in 1 or 2 of these. So we'll just see how it looks. If it looks rubbish, we won't bother. But, yeah, I mean, that looks okay, doesn't it? So, yeah, I said to him, oh, I feel bad because I feel like you've not really had a very exciting birthday. But he said, oh, no, it's, you know, it's fine. So yeah, I think because he'd had a really nice time going out on Saturday night, you know, that kind of made up for it anyway. You know, so yeah, it was okay, I think. So, but I did feel a little bit kind of mean that I felt like he'd not had, you know, a brilliant time. Right, I'm going to throw these things away, these header parts, because actually I can't picture myself using those. Did I do... okay. Right, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to have to glue some of these together in a minute, because otherwise I'm going to have no more room to actually even put the layers down. So there we go, like that. Okay, right. So yeah, I'm just going to go along and glue them in like that. And like I said, where these are lace, and the lace is obviously wholey, to be honest, I'm possibly going to be able to actually just, whoops, glue them like this, and it will go through the layers and kind of hold them together without kind of having to glue each layer. And obviously when I put the topper on, that's going to obviously reinforce them further. So those ones, okay. Oh, Bo's just come in now to sit in here. So yeah, anyway, so that was kind of like the main event at the weekend, which was, you know, which was nice. Oh, and when we got back from the beach, we were able to sit in the garden for a bit because it was still really, really nice. Yeah, we took Bo with us. She had a lovely time on the beach. I think I've said before, that's kind of like her favourite place to go, is she loves going to the beach. So yeah, she had a really nice time. Now, unfortunately, took her ball with her, and oh my goodness, like she's like a, you know, dog possessed. When her ball's there, she literally is fixated on the ball. She cannot see anything else. She can't focus. She's just like, you know, just watching the ball constantly. It's kind of like hilarious to watch. Anyway, so she's there playing with the ball, and she did this last time that we took her to the beach. She kind of like rolls the ball in sand continually, you know, and then sort of like, I don't know whether she's like eating the sand, you know. Anyway, she's proper, you know, getting a lot of sand in her mouth. Whether or not she's kind of swallowing it, you know, hard to say. But yeah, she definitely, you know, she kind of like, either by accident or not by accident, she's obviously eating a lot of sand. So when we get home, this was this time and last time, obviously, you know, quickly bathed her straight away in the kitchen sink. She's very tiny, so she fits in the kitchen sink, which is very handy because obviously that's, you know, pretty quick and easy to bath her then. Anyway, so yeah, we bathed her, and then she was behaving strangely all evening. Now, I know that the last time that we went to the beach, she did the same thing with her ball. And, you know, that night she was quite sick. And she tends to sleep in my bed. I mean, to be fair, she'll sleep with anybody, you know, kind of like she just ventures between us all. But her kind of, you know, constant place really is she sleeps in with me. And the last time that we'd gone, she was quite sick. Unfortunately, like, she obviously was trying to get out of my bed to be sick, and she didn't quite make it. So she was a little bit sick in my bed and then sick, obviously, on the floor. Now, last night, I thought, oh, gosh, you know, and so I was kind of expecting it and said, oh, I hope she's not going to be sick in my bed now. Anyway, she wasn't sick in my bed, but she was behaving strangely. So she had been sick while we were at the restaurant. She had been sick when we got home. She'd been sick in the kitchen. So, you know, I thought, well, hopefully that's kind of it, and she's not now going to be sick again. Well, unfortunately, she then in the night just kept on getting up. So I had to get up twice or three times, I think, to let her out into the garden. So I don't know whether she was sick in the garden or not, but definitely she kind of couldn't settle. You know, she was obviously feeling not herself. But bless her, she was being a good girl. She obviously didn't really want to be sick, you know, in the bed. So yeah, she just kept on kind of getting up and down. And then obviously I was like letting her out, you know, watching her for a couple of minutes, then letting her back in. Yeah, so it was kind of all a bit annoying really. But anyway, hopefully she feels better today. But yeah, bless her. And the thing is, you know, obviously with dogs, it's not like you can explain to them and say, well, this is why you shouldn't be eating all that sand. You know, she's not going to understand that. And yeah, it's just kind of annoying because she obviously loves going to the beach, but of course doesn't quite grasp the fact that, you know, her eating all the sand is then going to make her be sick later. So it's, yeah, it's just really quite annoying. Okay. So yeah, I've got quite a variety of different things here. So let's just see. Oops. Oh, don't choose that. Yeah, so anyway, felt really sorry for her because, you know, I hate it when she's not feeling well. I'm going to pick this straight off now. Oops. And then, you know, like we did with that last one, we'll put a, you know, smaller, flatter gem in the middle of that. Yeah, anyway, so that was kind of a shame, but hopefully she's feeling better today. I mean, she seems a little bit strange, but, you know, that might just be, maybe she's a bit dehydrated or something like that from being sick now. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with dogs, you just love them so much, don't you? And, you know, like I said, you feel bad because you can't kind of explain to them and say, you know, this is why you're feeling horrible or anything like that. So you just then feel even worse for them, you know. It's, yeah, it's a shame. Right, I also have some of those wax cabochons that, again, I used some of these last time that we made these as well. And don't they just look gorgeous on there? So if you made those along with me, it was quite a long time ago that we did them, but they are very, very cute. So if you've got any of those, this is a really great way to use them. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I like using them in all sorts. And actually, I'm probably like the opposite, you know, to trying to find ways to use them. I'm trying to find ways not to use them because I, of course, want to hoard them, you know, like you do. So on Saturday night, you know, my son had obviously gone to Pride, and you know, like I'd said, and it was my daughter and myself, and so I said to her, should we put a movie on? And I know I've talked about this before, she does not do movies. She's an anti-movie person. She can't be bothered, you know. She hates sitting still, and, you know, she just doesn't really enjoy the whole movie thing. So anyway, and I said to her, you know, well, you know, shall we watch an episode of something then? If you know, if you don't want to sit down for like a whole movie, would you like to watch something different? So we agreed that we would watch, she chose this program that we have over here called Rich House Poor House. I think I did talk about this before. They had a Rich House Poor House holiday. I think it was a series, but I feel like there weren't many episodes. Anyway, this was just the normal Rich House Poor House. Now it's on Netflix now. It used to be on, I think it was on either Channel 4 or Channel 5 over here in the UK. So I don't know whether it's no longer on those channels and whether it's only on Netflix, or perhaps these are repeats and they're being shown on Netflix. I'm not really too sure. But anyway, we watched that. And it was such a, she said, you know, when we were sort of saying about it yesterday, she said, oh, it was such wholesome viewing. It was quite wholesome viewing because we watched in the end 2 episodes, and it was so sweet because the rich families who were living on, like, you know, a phenomenal amount of money per week, you know, they had, you know, one of them I think had £1,200 per week to live on. And the other one had £1,300 per week to live on. So, like, one of the poor houses, I think she was a single mum with 3 children. And, you know, they had a great time during the week. They'd had, like, takeout pizza and, you know, like, lived doing things that they wouldn't generally do. And then by the last day, she still had, I think they said £800 left. £800 left. Now, this is that family's weekly budget. So they have £1,300 per week to live on. You know, I think it was a family of 4. So she still had £800 left, and what a lovely, lovely thing to do. She took her kids shopping, and she literally divided the £800 up and kind of was like, we've all got £200 each. And I just thought, what a great mum. Like, isn't she just so nice, you know? And I think her baby, well, I say baby, you know, she was like 3, I think. So of course didn't have knowledge of, oh, I've got £200 to spend, you know, anything like that. But they went into the toy shop, who, again, you know, generally that's not kind of an option for them, because of course she's got no spare money to be able to be buying, you know, toys for the children or anything. So it's kind of limited normally to Christmas and birthdays. But she said to her daughter, you know, her daughter was kind of like, you know, just drawn to certain toys. And one of the things she was drawn to, she loved this playhouse. A playhouse, for goodness sake. And she said, oh, would you like it? Because she was able to buy that with her weekly budget. Her weekly budget. She was able to just buy a playhouse for her daughter, which was so cute. Now, I can't remember, and I hope I'm not confusing the episodes, but I think her son, unless it was the other family, and I do apologise that I can't remember. So I've done all of those. So I think I've got probably enough time to do another few. So I'll kind of just get doing a few more and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, I think it was her, but it could have been the other family. So I apologise. But I think he was like, I don't know, say 5. And he liked a little, what do you call them? You know, like the sit-on go-kart type things. And again, she was able to then buy that for him out of his weekly budget. So, you know, not his weekly budget, but her weekly budget, what was left. So it was so nice, you know, because they had a really lovely time and, yeah, kind of indulged in a way that they generally couldn't indulge, you know, ordinarily. So it was really, really, really sweet. And, yeah, we really, really enjoyed watching it. So that was really, really good. If you're looking for anything kind of little bit wholesome, you know, then that was that. And the rich families who obviously had swapped into her house, they also were really very sweet. And I think, I'm just trying to think, I think in both cases of both the, you know, the house swaps, the first family, I think they had on their fridge, they were paying for their oven, you know, in monthly installments. And so the family, you know, who'd obviously gone into their house, they paid off their oven for them, which was very, very kind of them and, you know, really, really nice. So that was really lovely. And I think they were wanting to renew their marriage vows. And the rich family happened to have a yurt, like in their back garden. And they must have had a license or something. Well, I don't know whether you need a license, you know, to do vow renewal. And so they said to them, you know, oh, lots of people like, you know, renew their vows in our yurt. And if you would like to, you know, use our yurt to renew your vows, then, you know, you could do that. So that was very, very sweet. And they'd done a whole food shop for them as well, which, of course, you know, that was a massive thing because, you know, like they said, oh, my goodness, you know, we've got enough food in here for like, you know, a month kind of thing. So, yeah, their fridge was completely stocked with lovely, you know, vegetables and fruit and, you know, what have you. So that was really, really, really sweet. So, yeah, we really enjoyed that. And then the second episode that we watched with the other family, the rich family, so this was the woman who was the single mum who'd, you know, taken her kids to the toy shop and all of that. That rich family, they did a food shop for her. So again, she came back and then she had like, you know, again, like food for, you know, a couple of weeks in her fridge or cupboards or whatever. So that was very, very sweet. She was trying to set up her own business doing like a nail bar, you know, business. So the guy who was this entrepreneurial man, who was absolutely a lovely, lovely man as well. And sadly, he had been fighting cancer for, I think they said 4 years. So, you know, he had his own struggles. It wasn't like his life was kind of like plain sailing, you know, he was dealing with stuff too. But he said to her he would like to spend a whole day with her, you know, giving her some pointers and tips of, you know, ways that she could kind of market her business. Oh, I'm going to have that one. Market her business and move forward with that. So that was obviously, you know, fantastic and really going to be very useful for her kind of like, you know, future. So that was very, very sweet. And then they treated them to a holiday because her and her children had never had a holiday. So that family, they treated them to a family holiday. I don't think it said where. Yeah, I don't think it said where they were going to or anything. But, you know, hey, who cares where it was to? It was still a lovely thing to do. And, you know, hopefully they had a wonderful time on holiday. So, yeah, just what a lovely family. You know, just really, really nice. And, yeah, I think my daughter summed it up when she said it was like kind of wholesome viewing, because it left you feeling really like, oh my goodness, isn't that a lovely thing to do? So, yeah, we really enjoyed watching those couple of episodes. Have we watched anything else? Oh, this sounds like a really weird sort of thing to say, but so I watched that film 9 to 5. I know, really old. I don't even know when that was made, but 70s, I don't know. The film with Dolly Parton, and yes, I know, I've never seen it before. I mean, what is wrong with me? How had I never seen it? I don't know, to be honest, why I'd never seen it before. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think, like, when we were kids and, you know, things like that might have been shown, say, like, over Christmas or something like that, my mum and dad weren't really big kind of movie people. They were a bit like my daughter and don't really kind of watch movies that much. So, I'd never seen it before. And, yeah, I mean, weird when I say it now, because I'm like, who hadn't seen that? But anyway, so what a good film. It was so fun and so ahead of its time. I mean, the guy in it, the, like, you know, hope I'm not offending anyone by saying any of this, but the sexist pig, you know, who the women in the office all worked for, you know, was this, like, yeah, just a sexist pig, really. And it just seemed so ahead of its time. I'm going to just do a few more. So, yeah, I'll have to cut some more, you know, some more strands of lace. But, yeah, we've just got time to do a few more. So I'll just do a few more quickly. Yeah, and he was this sexist pig. And it made me laugh. I can't remember now what he said at one point. But he said something like, you know, so there was a new woman started. And I think that might have been Jane Fonda. Again, not brilliant with people's names, so please, I apologise if I've got that wrong. Maybe it wasn't Jane Fonda, maybe it was somebody completely different, and I've now totally, you know, totally misquoted who actually was in that film. But I think it was Jane Fonda. So oops, I don't really want to have that one. Yeah, I think it was Jane Fonda. And so she starts, you know, at the company, and you know, he's introduced to her. And I mean, I'm guessing the film was kind of like of its time, you know, you'd hope it's of its time. But having said that, I said to my son, you know, we're not so far off, you know, very far from that even now. You know, unfortunately, I think we haven't come that far. I mean, definitely in my lifetime, I can still remember, you know, people having those kind of same attitudes. But anyway, so he said to her, to, you know, who I'm thinking is Jane Fonda, he said, oh, you're so pretty. You know, it's lovely to have you here. You're so pretty. And then he said something like, you know, oh, I mean, compared to some of the women that they've been hiring lately. And then he said, oh, it's pathetic. Oh, my goodness. Like, wow. Just like, oh, my gosh. Just, And I said to my son, who I was watching it with, I said, did you just hear that? Oh, my goodness. Like, wow. And so, you know, for anyone who hasn't seen the film, and I do realise that I'm truly in the minority, and I'm sure that all of you have seen that film, they kind of start plotting, like, in a jokey way, like on a sort of drunken night out. They're plotting what would they do, like, if they could have their revenge on him. And then it all kind of goes wrong and, you know, anyway, yeah, quite a sort of convoluted plot, and I don't want to give it away for anybody who's not seen it. But anyway, it's all done in a very comical way, but just their entire thing. So by the end of the film, he had not been in the workplace, let's just say, for quite a long time. And when he comes back to the workplace, these women have made all these changes around the workplace. And like some of the changes that they've made, so they said something about, oh, you know, so-and-so, she's job sharing with somebody or other now, so they can be part-time, you know. And then we've introduced like flexible working, so people can get home for like the school run and things. Now, obviously, I've, you know, lived in the UK all of my life, and, you know, I don't know how it is in other countries, but things like flexible working and all of that kind of stuff, that is more of a recent thing in the UK. You know, in my lifetime, my working lifetime, that has only just kind of like become a thing. So, you know, and to be fair, still not a thing in a lot of companies. You know, and especially for women, you know, like kind of people doing, oh, I'm just going to use this. This isn't from my lace pack, but I just thought I had this scrap left over, and to be honest, it would look really lovely. So, yeah, without wanting to sound like a sort of real feminist or anything, you know, the flexible working thing, it often really is, not saying more for the men, but, you know, the people kind of higher up the chain, you know, the more important that you are in the workplace, the more chance you have of getting perks like flexible working. So, you know, the mums who really need the flexible working, you know, to go and do the school run and, you know, drop the children off, or maybe like take them to the dentist and things like that, they're the ones who still now actually often don't get the flexible working. And, you know, certainly in the type of jobs that I've done, I mean, I was just kind of doing admin and things. You know, no, the admin people, they were the ones who weren't offered flexible working or anything. You know, yes, you could have a job share. Yes, you could be part-time and things like that. But certainly you didn't get the opportunity of working from home, or of, you know, like, I don't know, you know, flexi time and things like that. You had your hours and they were kind of it. I mean, yeah, you could probably work through lunch and finish early and things like that, which was, you know, I considered fantastic when I worked there. But, you know, kind of watching that film, I just thought, wow, we've got a long way to go still. Now, obviously, that's a sweeping statement, and I'm sure many companies are brilliant nowadays, you know. You know, obviously I left my, you know, my real job kind of thing to focus on my, you know, doing this full-time, was it 2020, I think. So, you know, obviously it's been a while since I've been in the workplace, and maybe it's changed even more since then, you know, who knows. But yeah, just kind of at the time, I just thought, wow, things haven't really come on that much, you know, in this country, I feel, because actually there's a lot of things that still, even now, are, you know, not considered widely, you know, practiced. Again, things maybe have changed since COVID and all of that kind of stuff, you know. So, yeah, I mean, all of these are, you know, assumptions based on, you know, my experience from kind of like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. So, you know, I wouldn't like to say whether it's definitely still that way. But, yeah, I just kind of thought, wow, I mean, if that film was filmed in the 70s, definitely my first few jobs that I had, you know, when I obviously was working full time before I had children and things, you know, for that kind of 10-year period or whatever, definitely there was no job sharing, you know, flexi time or anything like that. I mean, it maybe came in one company that I worked for, and then it was like really, oh my goodness, wow, what a forward thinking company that we work for, that we can have flexi time, you know. So I thought, wow, you know, maybe other countries have had things like that for years. I don't know. And hey, who knows? Maybe it's just, you know, the companies that I worked for, maybe I just worked for companies that didn't really do that. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. What's your feelings? Do you think that maybe we're only just catching up now? Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. But anyway, very, very good film. And it just made me laugh because, you know, obviously the productivity was way up because people were then really happy with their working conditions. They were happy that they could, you know, go and kind of like watch kids' sports days and things like that, you know, without the pressures of kind of, you know, no, you're not allowed to do that. And, you you know, yeah, it was just really kind of like, wow, they were doing things like that back in the 70s, which is, yeah, pretty incredible, to be honest. Whilst I'm saying things like let me know in the comments, I must now address the series. So I would first of all like to say thank you to everybody who watched my Tagtastic series, who maybe left comments, who, you know, said that they were enjoying the series, and obviously to those people who said that they were you know, joining in crafting, whether they were actually joining in posting pictures or not. Thank you so much, and I really hope that you all really loved the series and that you have got now a whole ton of ready-made tags, because that's obviously really lovely feeling, isn't it? Now, I realised that obviously I wasn't quite sure how the giveaway was going to work when I did the final count video and gave the instructions for the, you know, how the giveaway would work. Because I myself, obviously I'd filmed that in advance of the series, you know, filmed the final video kind of thing in advance of the series. And I myself didn't know really how the linking, sharing the links would be and things like that. So I tried to make it kind of as clear as possible with the, you know, how to enter the giveaway. I'm not sure that I did that successfully. So yeah, I do apologise, and I now kind of think maybe I need to have a bit of a rethink, because obviously, you know, I've made it too complicated and people don't really kind of quite know now how to enter the giveaway. Obviously the initial thoughts were the giveaway was going to only be open really to people who had shared the link. Now, obviously, you know, I try and keep up with comments, and I do try and at least read them all, even if I don't reply to them all. There weren't that many links being shared, and some of the links weren't necessarily links, if you see what I mean. People just saying, oh, I have posted, you know. So I'm not sure how to do this now. I'm going to have to give it a little bit of thought. So the giveaway, I'm going to extend the date, because I think I was saying it was going to be drawn I think this weekend, but yeah, I might have got that wrong, to be honest. I can't really remember now. But to give everybody a fair chance who wants to obviously join in, I'm going to obviously extend that maybe for another week. So again, once I've come up with a strategy or a plan of how best to describe the giveaway and the entry details, I will do another video. There will be an extended date for the giveaway, because, you know, I want to give obviously the most opportunity for people to not apply, enter is the word, enter. So yeah, that's kind of, I think, the fairest way to do it, is to, you know, do another video and, you know, re-establish what the kind of guidelines for entering the giveaway are. I would still very much like to keep it to only those people who've shared a link to be in the giveaway. And that sounds really mean, and I apologise to, you know, to people who that might feel really disappointing. The reason for that was because I was hoping it was going to be an encouragement for anyone, you know, just thinking, oh, shall I start my Instagram? Shall I start my, you know, YouTube? Shall I, you know, shall I join the Facebook group? You know, all of those kinds of things. I was hoping that this would be like an encouraging way to, you know, yeah, start people off, I suppose, like who were, you know, wondering whether to start. So that's why I'm thinking still, you know, still stick with that particular rule. Yeah, I need to have a proper thorough look and give it a little bit more thought, because it's clearly not really, you know, it's not really been, what's the word? Clear. That's the word. It's not been clear how to, you know, how to enter or any of that stuff. So yeah, many apologies there. And, you know, but I will have another look and another bit of a think about how best to do the giveaway. And then I will put up another video within the next few days with the information. So, you know, watch this space. It will be coming, you know, the information will be coming. I just need to kind of fathom it out myself, which at the moment I'm, yeah, not really kind of like too clear myself how best to. I'm going to have to cut this off because it's actually stuck really, really firmly. Let's hope I don't just ruin that flower completely. I think I have. Oh dear. Yeah. So anyway, but I thank everybody for your lovely comments and things during the series. I really hope that, oh my goodness, look what I've done to this flower. I really hope that you enjoyed the series and, yeah, that you did, you know, did manage to make a lovely lot of tags and things, and that you feel, you know, pleased with all the tags that you made, and, you know, hopefully just had a really good fun time. So that was kind of the, you know, the ultimate goal was just that we would all have a lovely time, you know, doing some crafting. So yeah, hope that that was at least achieved, even if my instructions for the giveaway were not very clear. Yeah, so that's that. And then the final thing that I just want to say, I am going to be doing a restock in my shop this week. So yes, obviously I will be double checking that I've got enough lace going on in my shop, you know, to kind of like coincide with this video. And then I will be restocking a lot of things. Now I hopefully have got a couple of journals to go in, and also the folio that we made together in the, you know, make your own folio. Hopefully that also will be going into my shop. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, because I don't know what day or whether it will be a gradual restock over the course of the week, but by the end of the week, hopefully there will definitely have been a journal or two put into my shop, and also the folio that we did together. And oops, must put centers in these two flowers. Yeah, so if you're wanting anything, you know, specifically, then keep your eyes peeled. There will hopefully be paper clips and things, maybe a couple of kits. I don't know. I need to, again, you know, double check on everything. Obviously being the summer holidays kind of mucks everything up slightly and makes it slightly hard to concentrate, but yeah, hopefully I'm going to do like a good restock. Oops, a good restock, and I will try and do a restock video. And I know I've talked about this before, I just don't want it to be constant like restock videos. And that being said, a lot of you do, you know, comment and say, oh, I love seeing what you're putting in the shop. So yeah, it's a tough one to kind of like follow, but yeah, let me know your feedback, because I'm always kind of a bit torn and think, oh, you know, I don't want to look like I'm constantly putting things up, you know, but then feedback is generally that people do enjoy seeing what I put in the shop. So it's one of those tough kind of scenarios. And obviously, you know, I do get emails and things from people, or comments with people literally, they're actually waiting for certain products. And so of course it's only fair then to notify people when things are restocked. I mean, I know like the covers and things like that are very popular, and obviously if I don't do a restock video, they're just sat there then, you know, without notifying people. And then obviously people who would like to get a cover, they're unknowingly missing out, you know, if you see what I mean. So right, keep your eyes peeled is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, waffly, my goodness. Right, okay, let's count up how many that we've done. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, got lots here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, I have got the trim packs as well in my shop, and they also include the black bling. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Wow, that's amazing, because I can't remember, but I'm sure that I only made something like 14 last time. So wow, we have really like done loads this time. So I'm just going to show you how they would look on a page. So just to give you a kind of quick example of how you would use them. So obviously this cover has not been decorated. It's, you know, journal that I'm working on currently. The cover, like I say, not finished off, not decorated or anything like that. But just to give you some ideas, if I just pick one that might complement. So for example, this here, we've got the pink, and that obviously ties in with the pink of the flowers and things. So, you know, you could just tie that in with maybe some, you know, just like ruffle and kind of little bit there. Maybe put some lace or something down the side. I mean, obviously I'm, you know, winging it here, not kind of just planning it or anything. But, you know, just something like that. And that would be a very simple kind of cover, but really, really pretty. So that's that. And then if you wanted to use them inside a journal, again, we've made them hopefully reasonably flat, so they're not going to be too bulky, but you could just literally pop them onto a page. They would look absolutely gorgeous, you know, anywhere. You know, I mean, how pretty do they look? And like I say, they're not too bulky or anything, so they're going to look, oops, they're going to look really pretty and not, you know, not add too much bulk or anything like that to a page. So yeah, really, really, really gorgeous, aren't they? So yeah, I'll just lay some out here just to kind of leave you with the you know, final kind of impression. But yeah, they're very pretty, aren't they? So, and I think all the toppers that we used, they all kind of, you know, go quite well. They all blend reasonably well, don't they? I, you know, don't really have a preference. I think they all look lovely, and they've all probably got, you know, a place somewhere. You know, all of them would look good with something on some, you know, some journals. So yeah, just a kind of few there to just lay out. And yeah, anyway, I hope that you have fun with your lace streamers for junk journals. And yeah, don't forget, keep your eyes peeled, obviously, in my shop. And yep, keep your eyes peeled for the giveaway details video, take 2, where hopefully I will make it a little bit more understandable for how to enter the giveaway. So thank you so much for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment below. And yeah, thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, Anne. Bye.